got Langford over the middle. 30 of Western Michigan to the 20, to the 10. He's gone. Touchdown, Illinois.
How goes it, Champaign-Urbana? You are listening to the Illini Drive, and luckily for you, Jamal Collier is out today. I, Eliot Sill, will be your host of the show, so that's a treat for everyone. And I know that causes some worries in some people, but we've got a great guest lineup today to make up for it. You can catch us if you're not listening on air. Hopefully you're watching on UPTV. We will see the show air Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on that channel, so go ahead and check that out if you happen to miss us on air, which you wouldn't dare do, obviously. Joining me today, as always, Torrance Sorrell and Alex Ortiz. But I don't really care that they're here because we have the mayor of Champaign, Mayor Gerard. How are you today?
I am living the dream. How are you doing?
Living the dream as well. I mean, it's the same dream. We're all here.
Okay.
But yeah, I intend to do a good job hosting today. It's my first time hosting Illini Drive, so I'm really amped up. I'll try and do better than John Travolta did at pronouncing Idina Menzel's name. I don't know if you caught the Oscars last night. He happened to call her Adele Dazeem, which is just gibberish. In my opinion, he looked very, very loaded. But yes. So, Don, did you catch the Oscars last night? Got the general gist of things, how they went?
That's Your Honor, not Don. Okay.
Oh yes, Your Honor. Sorry.
Thanks very much.
Apologies.
I actually followed it on Twitter. I kind of I had it on in the other room, and so I got the gist. I heard that Travolta looked like he had new hair plugs. Is that true?
Yeah.
Looked like he had hair plugs.
Yeah,
and there was some sort of he had some excitement over introducing a. No, what was the question? I'm sorry.
No, yeah. But, I mean, we had Ellen DeGeneres host. She did her second time hosting in a row. I think, what do we think of her? First of all, she came to campus last week. Did you pay attention to that at all?
Her show was here, right? They did like a live remote.
Yeah, they did a live feed.
Yeah, I was out there for a little bit. Actually, I saw DJ Richardson, but I thought that he was in Venezuela, so I thought it was like, God, that guy looks just like DJ Richardson, but I didn't say hello to him, and now I feel bad.
Oh, well.
I tweeted it, so he favorited the tweet, so I'm hoping that we're all good now.
Okay,
so
all right.
Hopefully everything's cleared up with that.
Yeah,
the whole Illinois, DJ Richardson, Venezuela debacle. I guess he's in town rehabbing or something.
Well, yeah, I heard he's helping Gross out with the team as well. Oh. Yeah, so he's doing a few things here.
Very good.
And,
perhaps that's why they're doing better.
Exactly. And
wait, I'm skipping ahead. We're still on the Oscars.
Right? Yeah, we will get to Illini basketball, and for those of you who aren't aware, unofficial St. Patrick's Day is this Friday. So we'll talk
this
that
Friday?
As well. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I better get ready.
said the Champaign City Liquor Commissioner. But yeah, I mean, what did you guys think, Alex and Torrance? You saw Ellen hosting. Did she wow you, or you not big fans of the Oscars here? I mean, what's up?
I mean, I'm probably like kind of almost similar to Jamal. I mean, I'm not the biggest movie buff, but what I did pay attention to was I know a lot of people kind of gave the Oscars crap because I think Leonardo DiCaprio didn't win.
Oh yeah.
And, Wolf of Wall Street, I actually got the chance to see that movie, and it was a real good movie for him and Jonah Hill, and just the way they played their roles on the movie. It was real good, honestly.
Yeah, typical Oscars, they give it the big awards to the real serious, historical dramas that if you're going to have another movie that's a little more modern, I guess you could say, that's probably a little more towards what maybe the younger people would like, not going to do so well. So not a surprise, but I will say, though, very impressive that Ellen DeGeneres tweeted out the most retweeted tweet ever. I thought that was good. Did you guys see that?
Until now, guys.
Oh, okay. Hey.
Selfie.
Yeah, we're taking stuff right now.
Hold on, sorry if you're listening. We had to take a selfie in the studio, so that's the kind of thing that happens when you bring star power.
Man, I mean, Ellen is huge now.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know how big she was. Just really until now, honestly.
Yeah, there were more people at the Ellen gathering on the quad than there are at most Illinois football or basketball games. Like,
oh yeah,
yeesh. But okay, another part near and dear to our hearts here at Illini Media. It was nice to see Roger Ebert was part of the in memoriam portion of the show, and I mean all that he has done for film and did for Illini Media when he was around. It's great to see that.
I had the distinct. Can I just jump in here? Is that the format?
Absolutely.
All right, just making sure. I had the distinct honor of. I actually gave Roger, even though he was technically, grew up in Urbana, a key to the city. Was one of the first keys to the city I gave out. Had the opportunity to meet him and Chaz, and to this day, I think one of the most thrilling experiences of my life. And I saw Eddie Johnson hit the buzzer beater to beat MSU. I was in the hall when that happened. Ebert, for the last Ebert Fest, he played Citizen Kane that had his commentary track because he wanted to hear his voice in the theater one last time. And I happened to be sitting right in front of his chair in the Virginia Theater while he was watching his commentary on the great, what's considered to be one of, if not the greatest films of all time. And it's one of those things I'll never forget. And just really, truly, I think that any accolades from here on out, truly earned by that guy. He's really, one of the greats.
Mm-hmm. And do you attend Ebert Fest regularly?
Yeah, I do. I always go to the opening party and try to catch as many films as I can. So it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great event. It's great for Champaign, and I like Urbana. They're fine, but they put a little plaque in front of his childhood home, and that's it. But we got like the fest. We're putting the life-size statue up. So happy that we're able to named a street after him. Happy we're able to really, honor the guy and make sure that everyone knows how proud we are that these were his stomping grounds.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, as far as the awards themselves, Your Honor, did you have a favorite a favorite film or favorite performance that you wanted to see win big? Or
what did I see? What did I see? I don't think I saw any of the films.
Really?
I don't think I heard any of the songs. It's been a busy year.
Uh-huh.
So, what was it? I think. What was it? Garfield 2: A Tale of Two Kitties was sadly ignored by the Oscars. So.
Yeah, big snub.
Yeah, I was surprised that Bill Murray didn't. Say something. Was he in that? I don't know. He was in the first one.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I really don't have a whole lot. What else was there was something else about the Oscars that I did see. I guess just that we're about to tweet out this selfie. I want everyone listening. You got to retweet this so that we can beat Ellen on the most retweeted selfie. So.
Let's break 1 million.
Yeah. We gotta get.
What do you guys think? 6? I'm guessing 6.
Well,
it's 6 retweets.
I think we can get 10. I think we can get 10 retweets.
Right. Okay.
For Mayor Gerard's selfie. One thing that will be very popular on social media, without a doubt, is the happenings of Unofficial, which will be going down this weekend. Mayor, if you want to give us a lowdown of, I guess, are there any rule changes?
The bottom line is, I'm a big personal responsibility guy. If you're 21 and over and you want to blow off some steam, it's your right to do so. You just don't infringe upon the rights of others. If you're under 21, you don't have the right to do so. So if you're going to be prepared to, possibly face the ramifications, it's 21 and up for the bar, so that makes it simple. Bar owners kind of like that. To be honest, Unofficial's become sort of an unofficial homecoming. You see a lot of alumni coming back who don't necessarily like football but want to go hang out at, at what bars buy advertising on WPGU? I don't want to say any that don't.
We don't care.
Campus bars. You want to go to Joe's or Cam's or White Horse or whatever, and they'll come back and the owners and staff have been saying, yeah, it's like we get like 24, 25, 26-year-olds in our bar, and that's what's filling it up. So to that, and those are the people who get hotel rooms and spend money, and they're not lighting couches on fire and throwing them off balconies, which is what we want to diminish. I think that. I was in college. Everybody likes to blow off steam. You get to this part of the semester, and that's fine. But just, for heaven's sakes, God, kids, just be safe, be responsible. Stay out of trouble, and don't cause trouble for anybody else. That's all I have to say. Well, you can ask me anything else. I'll say whatever you want.
Was there?
But that's my take on it.
I was curious on, was there any, suppose rule changes from this year, from last year?
No, the only thing that we changed was last year we had suspended some of the hours so that bars could serve food because there was a basketball game on Saturday. But this year there's not, so it's just going to be 21 through the weekend. I think through whatever starts on Friday night and goes through Sunday. But no, pretty much substantially the same. We might have even softened a few. I think it's it's pretty straightforward stuff.
Do you think Champagne's sort of learning how to handle Unofficial? And
absolutely, I think actually since I've been in office, I really encourage the university to acknowledge it. Don't own it, don't embrace it, don't endorse it, but acknowledge it. I think by not acknowledging it, it created more of an air of that people from out of town would think, oh, we can go there and do whatever we want because the university's just looking the other way. But university, campus police, Urbana police, all working together, university groups, the liquor commission, and getting on the same page. Also, when I first started, the police departments didn't work in concert with each other, and I think with our new police chief, he works really well. There's a new campus police chief and a new police chief in Urbana, and they all work really well together, and they have a singular vision of, like, let's protect and serve, keep people safe. They're not looking to, kick anybody's butt or see how many tickets they can run up. What they really want is just they want people to be safe and keep them responsible. And, I'm a Democrat, but I'm a big personal responsibility guy. I really put a lot of stuff on. People have personal responsibilities. You have rights and you have responsibilities, and come on, kids. Let's if you're old enough to drink, then act like it. Act like you've been there before, right?
Absolutely. Now, you've been a proponent in the past of trying to do things, like you say, you're a personal responsibility guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that you could make it some sort of not only unofficial St. Patrick's Day, but almost like an unofficial homecoming kind of thing?
It belongs to the students substantially. I mean, it was a bar stunt that got out of control, and it was sort of taken over by the students. And now with the social networks, they drive the whole thing. I mean, I think that they sort of try to work a date that doesn't conflict with. I think one year we had it, and it conflicted with engineering open house, and that was a disaster because you had a million, high school kids here, and that's just a mess. So at least I think there's more of a sense of working together, not to get in each other's way. But I would love for the students. I mean, you go to Indiana, Little 500. That's unofficial with a bike race that gives money to charity. But everyone's everyone's partying. But people are like, oh, but that's tradition. I think there's a difference between just chaos and a tradition, and the only difference is if you're giving money to charity and there's some sort of sporting event. If you guys could come up with something to tag along with it and raise $100,000 for pediatric cancer research or something, that would be great. And I think that it would sort of take a lot of the stigma off of it.
All right, you hear that? You heard that here, students. If you can come up with a plan to donate to charity, you got the mayor's stamp of approval. Anything goes on unofficial.
Yeah, it's not that far, but so let's just say that it would put a lot. It's a lot easier to, a lot more palatable if there is a philanthropic endeavor. And there are kids who get out. There are. And I say kids because I'm old, and not any derogatory way, guys. But there are individuals, there are student groups who get out there and do good on this day and do different things and try to make a difference. And we have that every day on campus, and really proud of that. And proud of people who say, hey, we're going to take this opportunity while our fellow students are all getting tanked or shenanigans. We're going to do something good. So it is what it is.
All right.
What's like a typical day like for you?
A typical day for me, just generally?
As far as unofficial.
Unofficial.
I work my day job, so I will, I'll drive into work, and then I'll go, oh, crap, I forgot it's unofficial. I should have taken the bus. And then I'll get to work, and I'll work my day job, and then at lunchtime, I'll just go walk, and I'll grab a sandwich and just go through the bars. Last year was really dead. It was, at noon, it was just nothing going
cold.
on. Nothing going on. Yeah, I think this year's gonna be a little nicer. Hopefully, not too nice. And then, after work at 5 o'clock, I'll head out, and usually the media wants to talk to me, so we'll do that. But I'll go to virtually every bar on campus. Just stop in, talk with the doorman, maybe check with the bar manager. Talk. 1 year actually, when Hogan was here, that guy was like your wacky uncle or something. He was a hoot. I mean, regardless of his politics, regardless of what you thought of an administrator, the guy was fun to be around. He and I just walked around for like an hour and a half talking to kids, and we had a film crew following us. That was really fun. I do it a little bit more low key, but I'll go out, and I've noticed that I'm starting to get recognized more. So, just kind of get out, spread the message, like, hey, I've been there, been to college, have fun, be safe. So I'll walk around for a few hours, and hopefully by then things just settle into the routine, and I can just kind of keep an eye on my phone and make sure everything's cool.
All right, before we get you out of here, Don, we got to fulfill our obligation. We are a sports show.
Oh, yeah, this is a sports show.
Have you been paying much attention to the Fighting Illini this year?
Oh, absolutely. I'm friends with John Gross. I forced my friendship upon him, and he is great. I think he's the real deal. I thought that Coach Weber, I had a lot of respect for him, but Gross is really one of those guys who's great for the community. I think he's got his kids go to the same public school that my kids went to grade school, which I have great respect for. Somebody comes into town, dumps their kids into public schools right in the heart of town. It's great. He and his wife are just really wonderful people. But I think the guy's got a passion, a vision. I think people buy in, and he gets a lot out of what he has right now. And I think he's got a lot more coming up. So I tweeted it the other day. I think the future's bright. I'm really excited about it, and I think it's good to see a team playing well towards the end of the season instead of falling apart at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, what do you make of the freshman class that seems to have come in and sort of? I mean, you got guys like Kendrick Nunn and Malcolm Hill that have come into the starting line.
Yeah, my new hashtag is none better. I think I'm really excited about that guy. I think he's really fantastic. And I like Nana. I think Nana slipped under the radar and put up really good numbers last year because no one expected it. And I think he's been taking a lot more. They've been focused on him a lot more, to be honest, is my opinion. And he's had a lot more pressure. But I think he'll come around, and he's been coming around. He's had some good games. But yeah, just the young guys and the guys coming up, it's going to be a dogfight. There's going to be a lot of competition. I think when you start to have competition amongst your ranks, you really push it. One example I would give is former Illini coach Wayne McLean's now coaching at Central, and my son played on the JV basketball team, but he really likes the coaching side of it. So he's a student manager on the team, and he said, those guys have average talent. Just average, same guys they had last year, average talent, and McLean just outcoaches everybody. Those guys beat the number 2 team in the state. They beat Centennial that has Michael Finke on the first game of the season in triple overtime.
Wow.
And they have beat some teams that they had no business beating, and it really came down to they bought into Wayne, and he's a heck of a coach. And I see that with Gross too with these guys. So the opportunity to take somebody, just squeeze every bit of talent out of them, squeeze everything you can get out of them, and then as your program builds, and you start to get guys who have a greater potential, and and you just push them to that. So.
How important is U of I basketball to this community?
I think all the U of I sports are really important. I mean, I think that people take great pride. You'll see in volleyball and gymnastics, just all kinds of stuff. I think it's huge. I think as a kid growing up in Champaign, it was a big deal if a U of I athlete, I don't care who it was, someone on the swim team or something, came to my grade school. You really look up to those people. They're your heroes. And when I do a walk to school day with the kids, or I'm at some grade school event or something, they're always real excited to see the football players, or even the golf team, or whatever it may be. And I think it's it's always better when you win. It's going to be better for business. But I think just having athletic director like Mike Thomas, who really gets the kids out, gets the student athletes out into the community, is phenomenal. You never know how you're going to. I'm always a big guy on, how you're going to. Everything you do influences other people, and if you're out with kids, especially grade school kids, what an impact you can make. You guys should go to the grade schools and get the Illini Drive tour of the schools. Go talk to the kids.
Oh, I'm sure they love us.
Yeah,
they're listening
absolutely.
Right now.
They're probably listening right now on their Walkmans or whatever they have now. Those kids.
Walkman. All right, real quick, who you got? Illinois hosts Michigan tomorrow. Number 1 team in the conference, and a very, very good deep conference. But it is senior night. Are you giving the Illini a shot here? Or?
I think I'm going to give them a shot. Yeah, I mean, I think like we saw it last year. I mean, who gave them a shot against Indiana until the last couple of minutes? So anything can happen. The House of Pain, tough place to play, and the Crush is fired up. I hear we're going to have some Crush in here, huh?
Oh yeah, they're coming on. They're coming on next.
Okay, I can feel the heat already. No, I've been there. I believe. I think that anything can happen, and if they come out and are set to do business, and maybe we'll catch something. Maybe Michigan will take them a little lightly. I don't think they do, but we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be competitive. I think they do. I would give them a chance, definitely.
Can I get you on the record saying they're going to win? You willing to commit?
Oh boy. I will say that I was jokingly telling everyone they were going to beat Michigan State, and people were just like, "Oh, come on! They haven't won there in 8 years." I know they've won a couple games. Everyone's excited, but they went in there, and when you have a defense like this team has, when you play defense like that, anything can happen. So if they disrupt them, you never know. They could be one sprained thumb on the other team's star shooter away from, I don't know who's a star shooter. Make me look smart here.
Nick Stauskas.
Yeah. If he sprains his thumb or something or whatever. No, when you have a team that plays that kind of defense, I'd definitely give them a chance. Sure. I'd say that they're gonna squeak it out tomorrow.
All right. Well, you know where to send your hate mail, everyone, if you're betting and misled.
Yeah, just put hashtag potholes or whatever.
All right. Well, we thank you very much for joining us, Mayor Gerard, friend of the show. I think it's your third or fourth, fifth, maybe even time on here.
I love being anytime you guys want. I'd love to come in, and I do tune in and enjoy your show all the time. Great job.
All right. Well, thank you for thank you for coming in. All right.
Thanks for being had.
Yes, thanks for being had by us. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. You're listening to the Illini Drive on 107.1 WPGU. Orange Crush is joining us next. Stay tuned. Hello, everybody. You are listening to the Illini Drive. I am your host, Eliot Sill, and alongside me are Alex Ortiz and Torrance Sorrell, and we are joined right now by some members of the Orange Crush. We got Ryan Gant and McKinnon, whose last name I forgot to get. I'm sorry. Okay.
McKinnon Beers.
McKinnon Beers. All right. Well, great, guys. Happy to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, all right. So, Illinois basketball, I know you made a huge donation to the State Farm Center renovations. We'll talk about that later. But right off, we're going to talk about sports because we love sports. That's why we're all here. So, as Illinois fans, what do you make of the last week and a half?
It's exciting. The way the team's been playing, you go on an 8-game losing streak, and all of a sudden you're feeling kind of down, and you kind of wonder where the season's going to head. And John Gross keeps the guys playing hard. You see the freshmen kind of step up and make a big impact. It's a lot of fun to see where we're going and kind of control our own destiny now with playing Michigan tomorrow night and Iowa away on Saturday. You win those two and maybe make the NCAA tournament.
Ryan, you mentioned, I think it really is a testament to Coach Gross, to the freshmen, to the whole team, really, the work ethic, their ability to continue to fight, continue to work, and keep their own destiny in their hands. I think it's it's a good group of guys, and it's easy to get behind guys like that. They're still giving their all.
Mm-hmm. And obviously their last game against Michigan State, their biggest win of the season, and it happens on the road, so now they come home. It's senior night. You guys get to give them a warm welcome. I guess, what kind of atmosphere are you getting ready for these guys in their last, you got Joe Bertrand and John Inkey's last home game?
I think it's going to be exciting. You saw the defensive effort that they gave on the road at the Breslin Center, a place where it's really tough to win. And all of a sudden you get to come back home in front of the Orange Crush, in front of, probably a sold-out Assembly Hall tomorrow night, or State Farm Center as we know it now. But
it's tough to get used to that.
Right. You get going.
That mistake's been made a few times on this show. So
even we were talking about earlier, this is the most anticipated game other than Indiana last year, which really, how many people expected us to win that? But I think people, we have a good chance tomorrow, and it's these last few days have been pretty exciting. Looking forward to this one.
One thing you've seen with the Big Ten this year is anybody can beat anybody on any given night. Everybody has at least 5 wins, so anything can happen.
And it's not only can they, but they've been doing it. Usually you'd see a team like Penn State finish with 2 wins or something, but one of them would be against the number 3 team in the conference. But this year it's just so balanced. Yeah. Everyone's got at least 5 wins. I think that hasn't happened in a long time.
It's Penn State knocking off Ohio State, or Indiana getting beat at home, or whatever. It's a crazy conference this year.
Right. So I guess you said if you win these next 2 games, you think Illinois' got a solid shot at the tournament. That would put them 8-10. They were 8-10 in the conference last year, correct? And they got in at large. Do you think then that they would? So you don't think that they need to win any tournament games if they get these next 2, or?
See, I think we do. I think we need at least 1 in the tournament, and even as much as we don't like Dan Dockich, he said we need 2 in the tournament.
So everyone has a different
opinion. I don't know.
That's true.
I think 8-10, in the conference is a tough conference where anybody can beat anybody all the time, and the quality wins. If you go to Michigan State and win, and getting 8-10 would mean you'd have to go into Iowa, a tough team, and beat them there. So I think your quality wins, add in the win at Minnesota. That's some good road wins for a resume. So who knows how the committee will look at it.
Yeah, the tough aspect of that is if Indiana and Minnesota are able to get 1 more win each, which that's an if. But if they're able to get 1, Illinois would then be the 9th team in the conference with 8 wins. So it's, I don't know. It's
then you have to rely a little more on the tournament, I guess, the Big Ten tournament, to see how it plays out there. But who knows? At least now we have a fighting shot, and I think that's what kind of gets the students and gets the Crush excited for tomorrow night.
And so you guys will be rocking State Farm Center, and you actually made a large contribution to make sure that the State Farm Center is a little better to rock when the renovations come around. You made $1 million donation to the renovations. I guess, if you want to just talk about how you were able to do that.
Yeah, this is something that kind of came about last year, and previously we had a $500,000 pledge to the Lou Henson Coaching Endowment Fund, and we fulfilled that last spring, and so it kind of made sense to look into this renovation project. We had to find something new, and this was on the horizon. We work very closely and have a lot of strong relationships within the athletic department, and so we felt like this is something that kind of aligns well with our goals and what we support. Our motto is students, campus, community, and the future of Illinois basketball of the State Farm Center is something that aligns with all three of those. It's, students walking in their first day, and then they're walking out their last day when they graduate. And so we thought that this is a good opportunity to give back. But not only that, it's a reinvestment in the future of Orange Crush. We see it as that, we put money back into this, and then that will allow us to grow our membership base even stronger. So down the road, we're able to make a bigger impact on the court during the games, in addition to in the community. By having more members, the experience will be enhanced, and we'll be able to donate more money as well.
For anybody out there that doesn't know, how membership process for the Orange Crush works, or kind of how our fundraising works, is students don't buy tickets to get into basketball games. You raise money that's donated to the Crush Foundation through the University of Illinois Foundation, and then us on the Crush Foundation board get to allocate that out. We take grant applications this year from over 60 different local organizations, and some of the money raised goes back to university or campus causes like the Lou Henson Coaching Endowment or the Rod Cardinal Sports Medicine Scholarship Fund, and the university the State Farm Center project. But then other things, about $75,000 this year went to local charities and local organizations that we got to help out. We get to see Orange Crush make an impact that way as well.
What I was gonna ask, what made you guys wanted to join? Were you guys always like huge Illini basketball fans? Like, what drove you guys? Was it like the community aspect of it, or?
Yeah, I guess personally growing up, my dad went to school here, and I just grew up coming to games. I mean, I can remember in high school we had season tickets in the very top row of what was Assembly Hall. I said I can't wait till we get to have better seats in the next few years. So I mean, I've always been a big Illinois fan, and for me it was kind of a natural progression.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up close to here as well. So coming to games, you see the Orange Crush, that's who you see on TV, and that's what I wanted to be a part of. I didn't even know about the charity aspect of Orange Crush until I got here. So that's just icing on the cake. That's something that sets us apart from, other student sections around the country.
Speaking of what sets you guys apart, I want to know how much time you guys spend practicing these chants and little antics that you see throughout the end. Whether it's Black Eye, Orange Crush, Spike Squad, whatever it is, they're always so funny and entertaining. I'm sure some of the opponents have to be distracted by these things that you guys do.
I think that's what's so unique about Orange Crush in particular, and Block Eye gets to do it as well. They're a little bit farther away from the action. In basketball, it's such an intimate environment where you're right up there on the court, and you can talk to the players, and you can get in their heads. I saw last year when Michigan came to town, I was sitting over on the sideline, and there were these girls that sat over there in little tutus and had wands and everything else, and Tim Hardaway Jr. went to do an inbounds pass from the sideline, and they were so close to him and just getting in his head, and he ended up throwing the ball away, and it was just an easy inbounds pass from the sideline, and I know they made an effect on that. So that's kind of what's unique about Orange Crush. You get to be so close, and it's just so awesome.
And that's what you see with, so we have hoop scoops each week, each game really, that puts together, one of the Crush chairs, Preston Brown, he puts together these hoop scoops with dirt on the opposing players, and I would say he spends probably 5 to 10 hours a week looking up, researching different things, and they're pretty funny. They're entertaining, and it's just an added bonus, something you can use to hopefully get in somebody's head.
Just going back to being close by the action, I mean, what do you guys make of that Iki save, that last home game? I mean, that was crazy.
It was the effort. I think that shows you where the team's heading. Maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, when you're in the middle of a losing streak, maybe that energy's not there. And I think that's kind of goes back to Coach Gross. He's got those guys playing inspired, and they go after the Matto points, the diving on the floor, diving into the crowd, that they really want to make an impact that way. And that was cool. I mean, to see him come into the crowd, I think he knocked over a cheerleader.
Yeah, so. I think he did. It's hard not to get behind a guy like that. You see him just truly giving his all. I mean, it's pretty easy to support someone like that and root him the best we can.
I think people recognize that, too, if you realized the entire State Farm Center stood up and applauded that. So that was really cool.
That was neat.
Tomorrow's big game, obviously, we got Michigan. We're going to preview that game, but we're going to do it in sort of a unique way. Since here on Illini Drive, we air live on WPGU 107.1, 6 p.m. on Mondays. We're rebroadcast on television on UPTV at 9 p.m. on Wednesdays. So that's going to be after the Michigan game. So let's do something that works for both audiences here. I want to preview this game from the perspective of Wednesday night. Okay, that sounds a little confusing, but follow me here. So for Wednesday's viewer, if Illinois beat Michigan on Tuesday, how were they able to do it?
Defense. It starts with the intensity. You saw it up at Michigan State on Saturday. That it was defense. They held Michigan State to 46 points. You're going to have to do that against a Michigan squad in the exact same way. They've got players, they've got shooters, and it all starts with that intensity on the floor for me.
What do we have? 4 straight games of under 50 points, the opponents. I think that'll definitely be a huge factor, but I think it'll come down to a few key shots late in the second half. I mean, you saw Iki with a 3 against Michigan State. A couple of those are going to have to fall, and to beat a Big Ten champion Michigan team, I think we're going to have to hit some big shots as well.
Yeah, and of course that 3 that Iki hit with 2 minutes left against Michigan yesterday, Tuesday, was great. No, but okay, well, different storyline now. Illinois lost. So if Illinois is losing on Tuesday, how did they lose? What was lacking?
They're not going to, so it doesn't matter. I think, you've seen Kendrick Nunn step up. His second time he's been freshman of the week in a row here, and he's had a big game, and I expect that from him anyway. I think he's there to play, both on the defensive end and the offensive end. If Illinois does win tomorrow night, or if they don't, the reason will be because they didn't have the upper leadership in a game where you had maybe a Ray Rice or Tracy Abrams. Those guys are going to have to contribute tomorrow night to beat a top-tier team like Michigan. So you're going to have both the freshmen play and the upperclassmen.
I agree. An upperclassman, you've seen Egwu, he's just been a monster on the defensive end. If he picks up early fouls, we've seen plenty of times this year that never really bodes well for us. So hopefully continue that strong defensive presence we've been seeing.
Or, it's curious no one's mentioned this guy so far in this segment, Joe Bertrand. He's sitting on the bench. I mean, what do you guys expect from him? I mean, it's senior night, so eyes are going to be on him more than normal, obviously.
Joe's one of those guys that has to play inspired. He's got you actually see him, I think, in a better role off the bench when he can come in and give you a 4-minute spurt where he can take over a game. He did it a couple years ago at Missouri. He's done it in the past where 4 years it's Joe time. He can come in and give you 6-8 points in 4 minutes, and then, the intensity's not there. So to see him play well, he's got to have intensity the entire game.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Do you guys think he starts tomorrow, him and Iki, or does he start the freshman?
I think they're going to start tomorrow.
Yeah.
You think the seniors start tomorrow?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Gross would start the freshman. I think he'd want to keep the game plan solid because it's about winning first and foremost. I would think
you don't fix what's not broke, and it's been working the last few games with the freshmen.
It'll be interesting to see. I could see either way since they've started so much the whole year. I mean, it'll be interesting.
I mean, they played real good the last game, so that's why I felt like they're going to maybe start. Or if they struggle, they're probably just going to get taken out real quick anyway. So,
all right, the third part of this past future preview that we're doing, I don't know if that's even correct tense-wise. Orange Crush rushed the floor after last night's win. What happened to induce this? What did it take to get Orange Crush to rush it like they did last year against Indiana?
We were just talking about this outside here, but I don't know. I think it's a big win, so I can see Orange Crush taking the floor tomorrow night or last night, however you guys want to say it. I think Orange Crush, it could be a big game. It kind of depends on how the game ends up. If it's a close buzzer beater at the end or maybe a close last-minute stretch where they come back, then the intensity level's there. I mean, if we'd have beaten Iowa earlier this year, I kind of wonder if Orange Crush would have taken the floor then, being down 23. So it just kind of depends on how the game plays out for me.
I think it takes a buzzer beater. I for one, I don't know my opinion on this. I think it's kind of silly that you see a team or you see students rushing the floor almost every night, turning on college basketball. I think it takes a buzzer beater tomorrow, and that'd still be a rare circumstance. That's just my opinion on it, though.
Yeah, I think it's become a thing where college fan bases, they all want to have the experience of rushing the floor. So they just sort of do it, even if the team didn't necessarily
doesn't warrant it.
earn it.
And I wonder how long this will last. I mean, you saw, I think it was Utah State last week or somewhere there was a fight after rushing the floor. So who knows how many more opportunities we're going to get in college basketball to even take the floor.
Well, then you got to take them, don't you? All right. So I guess just about this team, then, you guys have really good seats to watch these guys play. What is your favorite part of watching this team? I know you touched on defense earlier. I imagine that has to be a big part of it.
Yeah, I would say just the heart, the intensity, the passion that you see them bringing is exciting. But not only that, being, as you mentioned, the close seats, being up close and personal for for a reverse Bertrand dunk or things of that nature. It's obviously pretty exciting.
I think it's growth. I think you see where this team's going. There's a lot of hope for the future right now with this team. Freshmen starting, freshmen winning, players of the week in the Big Ten. And, that kind of shows you the direction John Gross has got them heading. And Orange Crush is going to be rocking not only tomorrow night, but next year and for the years to come.
Let's see. I know that, of course, Orange Crush is obviously the best student section in America. Now, other than the Orange Crush, is there a student section in particular that you guys kind of think, if yourselves aside, is number one?
I like the Ozone a lot. I'm a big fan of them. We follow those guys on social media, and we see a lot of what they do day to day and the things that their kids get to do. But also, even seeing their shirts each year, they have so many national championship years that they get to put on the back, and all the banners hanging at the Breslin Center. That certainly helps your cause a lot, and it's easier to get 2,000 or 3,000 kids there when you got 4 banners in the last, I don't even know how many years. But so I like them, but then again, is that just a byproduct of their team's recent success? So
I know you stick within the Big Ten. That's nice. That's some good secondary loyalty there. What about you, Ryan? You got to...
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think the Zone, one of the top tier sections. It's just, true fans are brought out when your team doesn't play so well. When you've had a stretch, maybe like Illinois had in the last 6 or 7 years, where things don't go so well. When you've got Tom Izzo as a coach, a guy with over 500 wins, it's easy to be a fan, I think. So.
And that's something I really like, is that we've had pretty good attendance at most of the games, pretty much all the games this semester. We've filled the floor. We've had good crowds there. And I really think the entire experience is something that's improved as a whole. Almost every game this semester we've had food of some sort: Olive Garden, Pancheros, burritos, meatheads, burgers, and all that is free. We haven't had to pay for that, but it's something that adds a lot to our members' experience. They're getting fed, there's music, there's raffles. They're waiting inside at Memorial Stadium. So the entire experience has improved, and I think people like that. And obviously when the team gets hot like they are now, it's a great time.
And we got 100 people a couple weeks ago to take 2 buses all the way out to State College, Pennsylvania. And if that's not dedication, I don't know what is. It was a blizzard going out there, and a team that was in the middle of a losing streak. So it was good to go out there and get a win and give our members something as well.
And you guys got a tailgate going on for tomorrow's game, correct?
Yeah, we're excited about tomorrow, and actually it should be a pretty good time. Athletic Director Mike Thomas, as well as Chancellor Wise, will be in attendance. There's going to be some donors that work together with us in securing those naming rights for the Orange Crush Club. So we're excited to show them how we do things, and we're excited to hang out with them for a while pregame and hopefully get some excitement building up for tip-off tomorrow.
All right, guys, real quick, I want to get you out on this question. Just surveying the college basketball landscape in total. Wichita State, number 1 overall seed or no?
If they win out, yes. And the only reason I say that, it's hard to give a mid-major the number 1 overall, but this is a team that went to the Final Four last year, and then they've beaten everybody in their path this year. So I don't know how you can deny that from them.
I'm not sold. I still say no. I remember, picking Gonzaga to go far last year in my bracket, and they busted it. And for that, I really can't forgive those smaller schools. We'll see what they do, but I'm just not on the Wichita State train as of now.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you. We're going to get to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more about college basketball, and we'll have Badass of the Week lined up for you. You're listening to the Illini Drive on 107.1 WPGU. And we hope you're enjoying your Jamalis Illini Drive as much as we are. Great to talk to those guys, Orange Crush, and thanks to Mayor Gerard for stopping in and saying what's up. I am Eliot Sill, your host for today and today only, and I'm joined by Alex Ortiz and Torrance Sorrell.
Yes, sir.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. I need that. I need that will to keep going. But yeah, I asked Ryan and McKinnon from the Orange Crush. I asked those guys, do they think Wichita State deserves the number 1 overall seed? I have a very strong opinion on this. I want to hear you guys go though. Let me know what you think.
I don't think they deserve the seed just because of that conference, man. Missouri Valley, they just not tough at all, and I'm just so used to, we covered the Illinois team, so I'm just so used to seeing the Big Ten conference being just so strong and from top to bottom. You honestly have some teams in the bottom of the Big Ten who could probably be some of the top teams in the Missouri Valley Conference, and their strength of schedule was just not as good. So I mean, you could win a lot of I guess bottom feeder games, but when you get to the tournament, I mean, anything can happen. So I mean, if they do get the number 1 seed, I got a feeling they're not going to go very far, honestly.
Yeah, and I heard somewhere that their strength of schedule is like not even in the top 100 in the country.
111.
Yeah, 111.
Man.
So if you could at least get a little better, I'm sure there would be a lot, in future years if they put in a lot more, competitive teams.
Right.
I'm sure they would have a much better chance, but I can't do it. I can't see it. My thoughts go to like NIU and the BCS this past year about you put them in, and I know Jamal's big fear, like, I don't want to see a bad game. I want to see a competitive game. And, if you, obviously they've had past success, but I can't, I'm sorry.
This is, to me, one of the benefits of having a playoff system like NCAA basketball has. I consider this equation to be very simple mathematics. Wichita State absolutely deserves the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament simply because they were perfect in the regular season, this isn't even bringing into the fact that they went to the Final Four last year and proved that, they're not a fluke at the very least. All these teams, you're talking about who's the best team in the country. That's one conversation. But who's the top seeded team in the playoffs? That's another conversation. What is your qualifier? How do you qualify for the playoffs? Through the regular season.
Right.
Who did the best along the lines of those qualifications? You had Florida, who had a fantastic season. You got teams like, Syracuse was great for a while, Arizona, obviously. But they all lost. They all showed blemishes on their resume. Wichita State has an unblemished resume. They literally could not have done better. If you're competing in the same realm, in the same sport, you have to say that they did better in the qualifying portion for the playoffs than any other team. Now, if you're talking BCS and you're saying, okay, are we putting Wichita State in the championship game or no? Then I have some hesitance. Simply because that's you saying that they're the best team in the country, which I don't know if they necessarily are, but they certainly earned the number 1 seed more than any other team did. If you don't think they're the best, put them up there, let them lose like the rest of the other 300 whatever teams there are in college basketball did during the regular season. Maybe they're not your pick to win. Maybe you don't think they're the best team, but they qualified at a higher level than any other team, any Kansas, any Syracuse, any Arizona, any Florida did.
Yeah, I'm not knocking them from their 31 games. That's pretty impressive. I don't care what conference you win, but it's just that going back to like Florida and just, those guys plays just more harder teams, and it'd just be interesting to see. I just wish if like Wichita State was to just play a couple teams from the Big Ten or something, or just like shape things up, or maybe play them like in a non-conference game or something. So I'm just big on just strength of schedule and who did you beat to get to where you at. But the 31-0, that's impressive. I'm not gonna lie about that.
I absolutely agree. And yeah, why not put more, what people would think of as competitive teams and have that schedule and prove it. And I want them to prove it. I want them to prove me wrong. Like, go ahead and beat everybody and win the championship. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends on what your idea is, ideal number 1 seed.
Right.
And mine is that, here you have the regular season as proving grounds for the postseason. They did it. They beat everybody. They won 31 times and lost 0 times. Illinois in 2005, they had a way better team than Wichita State. I think they'd blow them out of the gym by 25 points. They'd do them worse than they did Wake Forest. But at the same time, Illinois lost a game that year. And not only did they lose a game, but they lost a game to Ohio State thanks to Matt Sylvester, which is a name I only know because I saw the YouTube video this last week. So it's, they're not necessarily the best team ever. They're not necessarily going to win the championship. But, it's not like Illinois played 30 games and then lost to North Carolina, who won the title that year. They lost to Ohio State, who, wasn't even in the top half, I don't think, of the Big Ten Conference that season. It was 2005 before Greg Oden and Mike Conley and company came to town. So, I mean, I'm not saying that they're the best team ever, but that's just my spiel.
Oh, well, Wichita State proved Eliot right and us wrong, so.
I feel like they're going to have more pressure put on them, too, because remember that one year that there was the 9th seed, it was pretty much like the Cinderella team. And on this year, you know, they having a 31-0 record, so I guess people gonna expect more from them, and it's going to probably be more of a crusher if they was to lose an early upset victory.
And you know what? I'd be fine if they got the number 1 seed and then were the first number 1 seed to go down to a 16. That'd be fine. Let them lose. Let them bear that shame. But I think they at least earn the respect of you know, they couldn't have done any better. So let's not job them, especially when we're not in a BCS system. We have the opportunity to give them and say, okay, you've done well so far, but you're still going to have to prove it against the big guns.
All right.
I'll shut up. Let's go to Badass of the Week. We don't have an intro, but go ahead. Alex, who do you got?
Joakim Noah has just been... Oh, he's always a beast. What am I saying? So he, if for any of you who didn't know, obviously the Bulls beat the Knicks, who are in just a...
Destroyed the Knicks.
They're in quite the spiral lately, but Noah hit in 37 minutes, had 13 points, 12 rebounds. Pretty standard for him, right? But he had 14 assists, as well as 2 blocks and 2 steals. 14 assists. This guy was just on fire. You know the last center to have 14 assists in a game?
David Robinson?
No, Will Chamberlain? I don't.
Sam Lacey, who retired 2 years before Noah was born.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Fun fact.
I've been saying it. I think it is great and also tragic that Joakim Noah is playing the best basketball of his career right now.
Absolutely.
It just feels it's like, man, if only this were part of a more complete team,
Right.
you would have the Bulls in contention for a title, I think, no doubt.
Such a shame.
I just didn't know his passing was that good. I mean, the way he sees the floor, it's almost like he kind of like a guard sometimes when you get in the post and he just dishes it out to the shooter.
I think he's starting to wrest the title of best passing big man away from Marc Gasol, which is good. I like that.
Kevin Love up there, too. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's pretty good. Nice dimes.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's got great outlet passes, Kevin Love, for sure. Torrance, go ahead.
I'll stick with the basketball landscape, and I'll probably say a main man, Allen Iverson, finally retired his. I thought he already retired his jersey, but he finally
No, he just retired.
Yeah,
That's
retired. So he finally retired his jersey against Washington last week, and I mean, me being a big basketball fan when I was younger, and me being short. I mean, I'm 5'6". It's on the record, 5'6". Like Iverson was an inspiration for every small person who wanted to play basketball under 6 feet, just because of his heart and what he brought to the game. And one thing that I really liked about him was that he never changed. He never changed for nobody. And there's a lot of people who go in the league and kind of, act different, but he did things his way. And I think that's why a lot of people respected him in that regard. And he also brought sleeves to the league. I think LeBron made a tweet about it. He brought sleeves to the league. He brought tattoos. He brought all that type of style to the league. So, and that's another thing, I guess, he'd be missed for.
Didn't he only bring sleeves to the league because he brought dirty tattoos to the league? Like it was a tattoo he needed to cover up.
Yeah.
They changed I think they changed the dress code because of him too.
But no, Torrance, I'm certainly right there with you. As one of the short guys, I was never any good at basketball to begin with, but he was certainly someone who you just watched him and you're like, man, you can do it with heart alone.
Yeah.
Like that's, and obviously a ton of talent. But I think he's going the wrong direction though. Philadelphia needed him to come back. He would have been their leading scorer for the last 2 weeks. They're playing some of the worst basketball in the last 10 years of NBA. They traded away Spencer Hawes and Evan Turner, their 2 best players. So they're tanking better than anyone ever has, I think. My badass of the week, I don't know. I'll give a shout out to Greg Marshall, head coach of the Wichita State Shockers. I think, 31-0, that's impressive. Bruce Weber couldn't go undefeated. Greg Marshall could. So props to him on that effort. Also, I don't know who to single out for this, but the Blackhawks game was badass. If you saw them, they played the Pittsburgh Penguins outside in the snow at Soldier Field. It was just an excellent exhibition. Just looked really cool when you were watching it on TV.
That just looked right.
Yeah, it
just looked
fit.
right.
It made me love hockey. I don't even consider myself a true fan of hockey, but I love watching that game. And of course, the Blackhawks won. I think 5-1. So, props to that game on just being a badass thing. Well, on that note, we're gonna get you out of here. Good news, by the way, we have a pair of tickets to the Illinois-Michigan basketball game to give away. So if you've been listening and putting up with us for the last hour, here's a reward. Go ahead and give us a call in. That's 217-337-1071. Give us a call. We're giving away a pair of tickets to tomorrow's senior night game against Michigan, which is not one you'd want to miss. You've been listening to the Illini Drive on WPGU 107.1. Now back to Champagne's Alternative.